Good morning, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, my morning contemplation was all about compassion, or has been all about compassion. And of course, I love the feeling of compassion. I love to experience it within myself, and I love to share the energy of this with people around me. And of course, consciously and not consciously, we are all doing this. So I came across this quotation that really matched because I was thinking of different suffering that different people are going through and having compassion for it, whether I fully understand or do not understand what it is. So the quotation that I came across says, "An unhealed person can find offense in pretty much anything someone does. A healed person understands that the actions of others has absolutely nothing to do with them." And it has no particular author, but I think this is a very meaningful quotation because you might have people, could be at work, it could be at home, it could be people that you meet on the street. And on the street, even if someone is merging into traffic, and I use this example regularly, but how a person responds to that will reflect where that person is at. And so many people are walking around with so much suffering, right? So someone's got a family member who is ill, someone's got themselves who is ill, someone has a concern about a job or job loss, someone's got a relationship concern, someone's not sleeping well, someone is missing someone in their lives. So all of these things happen in our lives, and that's our individual suffering. And of course, I teach about overcoming suffering, just like Buddha talked about. And it's certainly a style that, or intention, that is very central to Vedantic teaching too, or non-dual thinking. And I do believe that all religions think of this. I think psychology thinks of this. I think healthcare thinks of this, of ways to remove suffering, and sometimes from the body, sometimes from the mind, sometimes from a spiritual level, which is also what I work with. So then, of course, I came across another quotation. This was by the Dalai Lama. And this quotation said, "Only the development of compassion and understanding for others can bring us the tranquility and happiness we all seek." And I love that. It's again, only the development of compassion and understanding for others can bring us the tranquility and happiness we all seek. And it's interesting because in the morning contemplation, the reason I had gone into that also was because I was thinking about this quotation I'd read years ago, and unfortunately I tried to look for it this morning. I can't find it, but I'll tell you the gist of it. That quotation had said that when we're looking at someone else, if you were to know that if I had the life of that person, had the parents, the birth, the childhood, the genetics, the nutrition, the thinking, the personality that person had, I would do exactly what they're doing. And that was so meaningful to me because really, it's true. And oftentimes we're looking at someone else with the perspective of ourselves. Well, that's not what I would do, or I'd do this better, or I certainly wouldn't be like that, or that sort of idea, rather than feeling that if I had exactly what they have or gone through or are going through, I would be doing exactly what they're doing. And I remember speaking about this in a very simple way with someone just a year or two ago, where the person was saying that, "Oh, you know what? You're so good that you made your own website." And I can tell you, when I made my first website many years ago, I was probably excited because this was a new direction, and I was just starting my practice, and I really needed to get some information out there. And I was learning that, oh, this is one of the ways you could do it. So I learned how to do it, and then I created my website. And I have to tell you, even to this day, I loved the website that I had created. I was so happy with what I was able to put together. And people were responding too. So people were actually noticing it and really appreciating the information. And of course, it had my humor in it. And so it really represented me. And this person was telling me a couple of years ago that, wow, that's really good that you did that. I never did mine on my own. And I remember telling him at that time that if I was as financially capable as you are, I wouldn't have done mine either. And I can tell you that that was the reason that I created my own website. And don't think I didn't wish that someone could create it for me. And let me tell you the joy it was to create it for myself. And this is how life is. But even in that time, I could actually understand that experience that he was experiencing because of a situation that he was in. Now to look at, wow, I never learned that. It's also a good time to remember the value of the blessing that was had even years ago. And then the blessing right now is that we can choose to learn anytime that we choose to focus that way, right? So today I would love for you to think for 5 minutes after this video and think about one person that maybe it's easier to say, well, I wouldn't do that. And maybe look through the eyes of compassion to see, wow, what is it that that person may be going through that I have no doubt, no idea about. And I have no doubt that it would create the actions that exactly that person is doing. And see if you can sit in that sort of awareness for about 5 minutes. I would love for you to do that, and I will finish with one more quotation. This also does not have a particular author, but this was a conversation that is discussed. This says, Buddha was asked, what have you gained from meditation? And you know I'd love this because I love meditation, right? He replied, nothing. However, let me tell you what I lost: anger, anxiety, depression, insecurity, fear of old age, and death. And wow, can you imagine being in that space, right? This is what spiritual development can inspire us to do. And this is the purpose. This is the purpose, I believe, of all religion or spirituality. And certainly psychology and healthcare focuses in this way too. But perhaps that fear of old age and death in more the psychology and the Western medical style is not so much about overcoming these fears. And I would encourage us to overcome these fears and start with compassion. Today, I wish that for you. I have compassion for whatever you're going through, and I hope you have a fabulous day ahead. And remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.